We're just going to do a little bit warm up to start, and we're going to start with the feet outside of the hips, so nice and wide. We're going to do a big breath in, reach to the ceiling. So think about that piece of string pulling the crown of the head up. So as you reach with the arms, we're already thinking about that length in the spine and making ourselves as tall as possible. We're going to keep that length in the spine, open the knees out wide and drop down into a squat like this. And then big breath in, reach tall, stretch, exhale. So how low you drop your bottom is up to you. Just seeing if you can seek out a little bit more depth each time so we get those hips nice and open. Sweep, reach. Each time you go up, think about that lovely length in the spine. Big breath in, exhale out. Good. We're going to do two more like this, and then we're going to add a little bit of a stretch through the back. Oh, that's nice. Good, so this time we're going to go all the way up. We're going to drop down. Instead of coming back up again though, we're going to straighten the legs, fold over through the spine, and then roll back up. All the way to standing, and again, big breath in. Reach, exhale. Inhale, bottom to the ceiling. Exhale, roll back up. Good, let's do a couple more like that. Reach, down. As you're doing these, start to think about, especially when you're rolling up, start to think about that gentle connection in the lower abdominal. So starting to think about our core connection. Gently drawing in the lower abs. So that as we roll up, we're gently tucking the tailbone under, rather than pushing out behind us, we're tucking it under and rounding the spine with that connection. Good, let's do one more. Pull in those lower abs, tuck the tailbone under. All the way back up. Good. When you get back up again, let's add in a little bit more hip stretching. So we're going to come down to one side, so this leg stays straight for a stretch. And then we're going to turn towards it. As we do, we're going to lift the toes to the ceiling. Then we come back, up, and same on the other side. Down for that inner thigh stretch. And then we deepen it and take it round to the hamstrings a little bit by twisting towards it, toes to ceiling, back and up. These are quite nice ones to do before a run, actually. If you haven't got like space or mat to stretch and you want to do some standing stretches, these are quite nice because inner thighs do a lot of hip flexion. So they help us with the knee when we're running to help stabilise the knee, to help lift the knee. So they do get quite tight, especially if you're desk work as well. So giving them a nice little stretch out. In fact, this whole little sort of warm-up sequence actually is quite a nice little pre-run stretch. Twist. Get down. We're going to do one more to each side. Down. Lift the toes as you twist. Back and up. Down. In fact, I really like those. Let's do one more to each side. My hips are thanking me for these. Twist. Last time. Good, and up. Take the arms nice and long. Let's just get a bit of that openness across the chest. And again, actually, this one's a really good pre-run one to stretch out. So you're using that connection through the lower abs to keep the body still. So we're not counterbalancing with the body, we're staying nice and still. And then when we swing the arms behind us, we get that lovely stretch across the chest. If you alternate arms, one goes on top, then the other one goes on top. Good. Let's go for 4 and 3 and 2, really still through the body. Arms moving, and 1. And then we're going to take both arms around as we twist. One way and then the other. Good, so nice and tall again in the spine. Start to lift the trailing heel if your balance allows. And start to turn the head so you're looking over the shoulder that you're twisting towards. Good. For 4 and 3 and 2. Last ones. Come back to the center. Lovely. So we've got that lovely length in the spine. We're nice and open in the chest. Got that connection in the lower abs. We're going to start to add our single leg balance now. So coming down, bending into one knee. All you're going to do is sweep this leg round behind you, keeping it as light as possible. The rest of the body as still as possible. Sweep it back, up and over. Pause, sweep, return, up and over. The idea being that that standing leg is as still as you can make it. So we're not letting the knee roll around, we're not flailing around with the body. Obviously I'm exaggerating, none of you are doing that, but you're trying to be as still as possible. So we're using all of the stabilizers down through the body to move this leg up and over. Good, so we are going into a squat type position. So the knee's bent, but we're still tall between the tip of the head, tip of the tailbone. Sweep it round, sweep it back, and then up and over. Sweep it round, sweep it back. Good, we're gonna do a couple more to each side. Sweep, arms can be out if you need the help with balance, or they can be in if you don't. And that's the same through this whole section, this whole session. Arms out for balance, arms in for challenge. Or here, I'll let you guys decide. Good. We're going to do one more to the other side. Lovely. And now you're going to see if you can recognise your weaker side, and that's the side we're going to start on. So for me, it's an easy choice. We're going to stay there. So you're going to sweep the leg round behind you, and then you're going to draw it in as you stand tall. And then you're going to extend it out to the side, sweep around behind you as you bend into the knee, bring it in. So we go out to the side, around and in. So the easier version is to just have a really little bend in the knee. Harder version is you're going to go deeper into that bend. So I'll let you decide. The deeper that bend, the harder it is. Remember, at any point you can bring the arms back out again if you need it. Because what we're going to try and do, if you want to add, stay as you are, or as you bring the knee up, as you stand up, you bring the knee up. There we go. And then out, around, knee up. Seeing if you can keep the foot off the floor. That's the challenge. If not, it's fine. Keep the leg down. Keep that stillness through the body. Out, around and in. So that's the full version, but like I say, you can have modifications to help you keep the balance. Good. Let's go for 5, all the way through. For 4, for 3, trying to keep as much work going through this standing leg as you can. Nice, he's looking good. We're going to do one more. And then we're going to bring the leg in front. So you're either going to end up here or resting with the toe very lightly in front of you. Okay, arms come out. So here or here. And we're going to twist towards the bent knee and then back. So everything below the waist needs to stay super still. And then we rotate the ribs round and return. So here and back, or resting lightly on that front toe. Same rules as before, trying to be as still as possible over that standing leg. Good. I think we've got 4 more. For 4. Oh, always the option of bringing the arms in. Like I say, that's always an option if you want to challenge yourself. Let's do one more. Twist. Come down, shake it off. We do the same little sequence on the other side. So was thinking then which side I was going to, other side. And then remember, we start off, sweep the leg behind and then draw it through. So it goes out to the side, around behind, and then back. Side, around, back. The deeper you go into that squat, the harder it becomes. Then you're going to try and take the foot off the floor so it's not touching down. And if you can, it comes up in front. Should all be a lot easier than the other side. If you started on your weaker side, and this should be a bit easier. Try not to let that knee drop in. Good. All the way through. Still as possible, hip bones as level as you can keep them. So not sending them around the moon. Nice. Good, let's go for 5, 4. I'm still counting, I'm just trying to look at some of you. Really strong through your centre, because if this starts to wave, you can see the hips start to go, the knee starts to go. So strong as you can through your centre. Last ones. Come back all the way through. So you are either here or here. Arms out, and we twist towards that front knee. Twist, return. So everything below the waist is really still. Everything above, twisting. Obviously you can come in. So think really tall in the spine. If you start to slump here, it's much harder to engage those stabilizing muscles, and then the balance starts to go. So think tall, really light through the floor, and then twist. Good. I think we've got 4 more. 4. This is looking really good. 3, 2, 1. Good, come down, shake it off. Go back to the first leg you were balancing on. Take your weight onto that leg. And we're going to do a nice little simple hinge here, so we're not squatting. The knee stays soft, and as we bring the arms up and forward, the leg's going to go behind, bottom's going to push out behind us, and then we're going to come back. So we hinge, return. If that's too much balance-wise, by all means, go back to this aeroplane position with the arms. Leg still does the same thing. It extends behind you as you hinge. Okay, so that's the easiest version. Slightly more challenging is to have the arms in front, because you're going to add a bit more core, a bit more back work there. So try and lift the arms up nice and high. Okay, and then if you want to make it more challenging, as the leg goes behind you, it also lifts and then comes back. And then if you're really looking for some challenge, the leg comes up like this and then extends behind. So what we're looking for with this balance, remember trying to build muscle memory. We're trying to train the body to be really stable on the standing leg for when we land with our running. So we want our landing control basically. So work at a level where you can be really smooth. So there's no point going to the higher levels and being like this, because that's not a good muscle memory to create. You're better off staying lower, building the strength here, and then as you progress with your strength, your stability, your proprioception, your motor control, your coordination, all of those skills develop, then you'll be able to get up and be smooth moves here. So think smooth moves. We're going to see if we can do 5 more. So you're continuously moving, but it's really smooth and controlled. Speed doesn't matter. You can go as fast as you like as long as you've got control. So as you get more confident, you can start to move a bit faster. but move at a pace that you can control it. I think we've got 2. I keep kicking the wall. I'm going to have to go this way. 2. Last ones. And 1. Come back. Shake it off. Onto the other side, obviously. So the leg is going to go behind you, the arms are going to come out. So remember to start nice and easy, and you can always stay here. So this is your stronger side if you started on your weaker side. So try to match what you did on the weaker side. Reach, return. Good, so remember your next option from there is to start to lift the leg as it goes behind, and then it comes back down as you return. Obviously, the higher you lift the leg, the more you hinge, the harder it is. So think smooth moves. And then when you're ready, knee comes up. Optional always. And like with the other side, speed is entirely up to you, whatever you can control. So we've got those nice level hip bones and that stillness over the standing leg. These look really good. Let's go for 5. Good. Remember, you can always come down a level again. If you're starting to go with the stability, come down so you can carry on, because we're looking for endurance. So you're better off coming back here. Last ones. Return. Come down, shake it off. One more exercise for each side. Go back to the first leg you're balancing on. The leg goes behind you. And you have a little hinge at the hip here so we can get the leg up. Arms out to the side or up in front. 2 options. And then we're going to circle that leg behind us. Big circles, or biggest you can, while everything else stays still. So there's no point being like this. So think headlights, super still. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go the other way. This is a good one to do in front of the mirror to check how much movement you're getting through the body and the leg. You're laughing, Harry, so which is now not a good time to look at you. I'm sorry, that was mean. Yeah. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back. Shake it off. Last time on the other side. Shift your weight. Leg goes behind. Little hinge at the hip. Arms here or here. And then circle the leg. Remember, headlights still. So it's quite a lot through the back, through the core, just like when we're running. So we're practicing coordinating all those stabilizing muscles through the body. There's a bit of foot and ankle. Let's go back the other way with those circles. There's some good saves going on. I see people going like this and then pulling it back. Nice work. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back in. Shake it off. Oh, nice bit of burn in the morning. Come back to centre. Grab a bit of wall if you need help with balance, or you can do this freestanding. It's up to you. We're just going to hug one knee into the chest, staying nice and tall, so we get a stretch around the back of the hip. And then that same leg, we're going to take it up behind, grab hold of the foot, scoop the tailbone under, push the hips forward for a quad stretch. So we sweep front and then back. By all means, hold on to the wall with the other arm, or freestanding, it's up to you. Scoop. Same leg, we'll switch to the other leg in a second. I like these stretches because they're a really good way of getting a stretch, but also practicing a single leg balance at the same time. I'm all for time-saving activities. Double up where you can. Let's do 2 more. Pull up nice and tall. Round behind. Last time. Nice tall spine as you pull the knee in. Round behind. Let's switch sides, same thing. Hug the knee in, staying tall through the spine. And then scoop the tailbone under so you really push the hips forward to create that stretch. Good, last couple. Last ones. And release. Back to this last position where we reach tall. This time we're just going to sweep down to the floor, folding at the waist. Do a little ragdoll at the bottom, so grab your elbows and just let your spine sway side to side, the weight of your head pulling you forward. And then come back to center, release the elbows and slowly roll back up for that stretch through the spine. Because like I say, that was a whole body working, that single leg stability. And we are done. I can't thank you enough for